are a set of 5 cheese molds made by Country Trading Company, designed in New Zealand. The box has lots of info about what's inside, including the sizes of the baskets. And these baskets are specifically for making Italian soft cheeses and what's known as a fresh cheese. It's one that doesn't get aged for a long time in a cheese cave, and so ends up being one of the softer types like ricotta. And so here are the baskets. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Regular cheese baskets have holes that are really big in the bottom for trying to make a soft cheese. So I find that I always lose some of the curds, but these are really closely spaced. So I'm sure that there's a specific cheese that's meant to be pressed in that basket. Oh wow, this one is super sturdy. There's a little bit of flash of plastic. The flash is what just kind of escapes the mold when it's being injection molded. So you can just poke that right out of there with your thumbnail if you want to, or even just take a scrub brush to it. It's gonna go away. It'll be just fine. Let's see, a couple more. And there are some that are really sort of delicate, and I assume that that's for the more delicate cheeses that you don't want to really press. Like this thing must be for things like paneer, like an Indian style cottage cheese where you can actually cut it into squares. The thing that I really also liked a lot was the fact that they include this great, it's actually a pretty thick little book with 8 fresh soft cheese recipes. And they really go through everything from the very beginning of what you're going to need to make cheeses. So really this would be a really good set for a starter. Fresh cheeses are usually the things that real cheesemakers recommend that people like me start with. Where to get your milk, different types of cheeses. So in here you have a recipe for mascarpone cream cheese, creme fraiche, which is a delightful type of sour cream, fresh cottage cheese, fast cottage cheese, or lactic curd cheeses, queso blanco, which is going to be really nice. It's a milk ricotta. There's a recipe for a chili ricotta, which sounds amazing. If you have I think it's like a cocktail smoking set, I think that you can smoke some of your cheeses. There's a smoked ricotta recipe in here, so we'll see what they say for that. And then it also gives ideas for matching the cheeses to different types of foods, cooking, using the fresh cheeses. There's a sagaloo paneer, which will be, I'm coming for you. It sounds really good. The book itself is really beautiful. So getting started, giving you an idea of what the different textures of all of the types of cheeses are, and what milks to use, what milks to avoid, because you don't want anything that is homogenized. You don't want anything that is ultra heat treated, because it will mess with the bacteria that actually cause cheese to be cheese. So you will not have a very good result if you use that. They recommend, it looks like mostly cow. Goat is also nice, and it has similar fat content, but it's nice for people who have any kind of lactose intolerance because it's easier to digest. They talk about prepping for making your cheese. They go through all of the equipment that you would need. They recommend a yogurt maker for cheeses that have to be kept at a specific temperature for a while. Now I have a sous vide machine, so I'm going to try doing that with a container in the sous vide that is at the temperature that the cheese requires, because you can keep it at that temperature for an indefinite period of time as long as there's enough water in there circulating around it. So I think that will do, for me, pretty much the same as the yogurt maker will do. And yeah, there's information on what to use for your acid for making curds. You can use animal or vegetable-based rennet. I found a vegetable-based rennet at my local grocery store that works beautifully. I have done lemon juice and vinegar before, but I haven't gotten as good of a curd result as with the vegetable rennet. So that's just my personal experience. Talking about what kind of salt to add, because the grain size of the salt really does make a difference. If you have a really finely ground salt, then it's going to disperse into the cheese and into the curds a lot faster and a lot heavier than a salt that has a little bit of a grain to it, where you'll get a little bit more of an even spacing of saltiness. If you use something too fine, then you can end up with clumps of cheese that are very salty and some that don't have any salt. Yeah, so lots of really great information in this book. Absolutely recommend it for anyone who has any kind of interest in making cheese, because this is really the way to start. There are also some great places online that will tell you how to make your own cheese press. If you look for a place that talks about using large springs and measuring the amount of pressure that you put on the springs, and you can use wing nuts to tighten it up to the amount that you need, and just let it drain. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a really, really nice thing to have. I mean, I have a little bit of experience making cheese, but this really, I think, will take it to the next level, make it a little more official than using a random cheese basket for just general cheeses. You do need to get a cheesecloth. I recommend getting a butter cloth when you're making a really soft cheese like mascarpone or cream cheese. Butter cloth has a finer texture, and you lose less of the curd through the cloth with a butter cloth than you do with a regular cheesecloth. I think for hard cheeses, regular cheesecloth is great, but I really, really love my butter cloth for the softer ones. Anyway, that's enough of me yakking about making cheese. I think this is going to be fantastic.